right, finishing the party. Now please don't ask people, don't go up to people at the party and ask them what I was always taught to ask them. Have you ever thought of doing something like this? And don't go up to them and tell them, you would be great at this, because this training has been around for so long that there are people in almost every party plan company who say this. So if someone's been to a couple of parties, they have almost certainly heard this before, and they've possibly heard exactly the same words. Now, if you use these sentences and that's the case, you're just going to sound like you're using a technique and you're going to put people off. So I really believe that we need to not use these anymore. Unless everybody stops using them, and then we can start using them again because they'll be different. But it's more important to focus on making a connection with people and engaging in conversation. There's really no shortcuts. You know, if you want a shortcut by just using hard and fast techniques, I don't think that your success rate is going to be that high. It really needs to be about people and relationships. So in the party, as you're finishing, choose people that you would like to work with and see if they'd like to take a business pack home. So remember, in one of the other sessions we talked about how to decide who to talk directly to, and we decided that we weren't going to simply go around the room asking everybody if they'd like to join. When you did the commercial break, you opened the invitation up to everybody. So you have already invited everybody in a blanket invitation. So you're not excluding anyone, but now you're going to choose just a couple of people at the party to talk to directly. This makes it an honor to be spoken to, because when you're going around the room just going, you would be great at this, have you ever thought of doing it? And they say no, and then you go to the next person and you say, you would be great at this, have you ever thought of doing it? Something's kind of lost there. It doesn't really work. So when you actually talk sincerely to one or two people, it's got an awful lot more impact. How are you going to choose who to talk to when you're at the parties? You can only choose one or two people. Who are they going to be? So,
okay, good listeners who are nodding and are responsive.
Yep, the ones, and they're often sitting forward in their seat as well, leaning forward.
Yep, yep. And the person with the sort of the twinkle in their eye and they're very open, you know, feel about them.
Yep. Not the person that's sitting with their arms and legs crossed.
No. Sometimes people, Gail's mentioned people who have mentioned they're looking for additional income.
Yep, and you would have found that out when you started chatting to them at the beginning.
And Tanya is the person whose pilot light is now a raging fire.
Yes.
In other words, they've fallen in love with your products.
They're absolutely just falling off their seat and can't wait.
Yeah. Anyone who asks a question about what you do and how you do it?
Yes.
And a different version of that, the green lights, the clues as to why people would want
Yep.
A job.
And we talked about that on one of the other sessions as well.
Yeah. People who whisper to another person and nod, so they, you know, you can see they're chatting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just the usual questions, you know, that we've covered. You know, do you have to pay for this stuff and things like that.
Now, I've got another couple of thoughts as well. Remember the party folder. If you pass the party folder around and you found somebody was intently reading that business information page, the page that was going to be a different colour, I would probably want to talk to them. Or somebody who is helping everyone else with their orders. Sometimes you get someone who's telling everybody else what they should buy and how they should organise their package and get the best deal, and my goodness, they're pretty much doing the job already. So it's easy. The only thing is once you've opened your head to and your mind to who you're looking for, you're going to see them everywhere. And it's so interesting because if you haven't gone through this process before, you may not have seen any of them before. So that's really good. So a couple of you did bring up the questions that people ask, and so remember that we use those questions to be able to start conversations which will result in them wanting to take a business pack home. So this is the time to kind of start to work on that. And remember to follow up with anyone who's taken a pack home in a couple of days. Don't leave it too long. You need to follow up with them, and also always leave one with the host so that you can pick that up in a couple of weeks when you do the delivery. Okay, so there's the whole party process. And I am assuming that quite a few of you probably do a lot of this already, but it is good to just pull it all together, the things that we've been talking about in the other sessions, pull it together and order it. And even for those of you who pretty much follow this process already, hopefully there'll be some ideas. If we haven't come up with them now, they've come up in your minds as we've been talking, that you'll be able to do some tweaking and make your results even better, even leaner, and more duplicatable, so that your whole team can do it as well.